Well, I don't see the point in waiting any longer, so let's bring her out. The star attraction, the one you came to see. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, Miss Judy Gold.
Your openness about your mental health. First of all, thank you. It's the brutal honesty is like, it's so amazing to be able to relate to someone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I feel like you've gotten really, because we're comics and we're so do not think like normal people, that this community, in a way, has been really embraced you, don't you think?
Yeah, it's awesome. I love comedians. I love comedy. And even I'm sure there are the people who don't enjoy my stylings.
No.
Find them, that I know that they're different, or some people consider different echelons or styles of comedy or whatever.
Right. It's a sense of humor. It's a sense like you like it or you don't like. Yeah.
Yeah. And I totally get that. And, but I love the community because it does seem like just an open mic. Oh my God, it's my favorite. 9 hours of 3-minute timed segments of people shouting their worldview into a largely disinterested coffee house. Oh, it doesn't get better than that. I just, and they're always so gracious. And some of the people who seem the toughest are so gentle and generous.
Yeah, and warm. And warm. Yeah.
Because people have been through the worst.
Right.
Like anybody who's done comedy has bombed terribly beyond their wildest dreams.
And then that's not even the worst thing that's happened to them in life, you know?
Right.
That's just like, and they can handle that because they've been humiliated so many times before. Right. So in 2010, you had, would you say you had a nervous breakdown?
Yes, a mental breakdown. I had often had psychiatrists say, hey, maybe you should try a mood stabilizer. Hey, you seem to be talking a little too fast. And I'd be like, yeah. Right. I'm going. Yeah. They call me the Rambler. I got to keep going. Then all my dreams kind of came true in terms of I was able to buy a house. In Southern California. What? I was doing a commercial campaign that I enjoyed doing.
The Target?
Yeah, Target. I was touring and things just mentally got worse. I just really was starting to, I wasn't maintaining at all.
Unraveling.
Unraveling. And I tried to get it together. I tried to go, you know what? I'm just going to go into Las Encinas for 72 hours. I'm going to nip this in the bud. Take care of it. No problems. I remember talking to some friends. I'm like, no, I've got Chicago booked for 4 shows the next week. I'm going on a new medication. I'm going to do the responsible thing, go inside the Husco, and then I'll be out in time for a Delta flight at 6 a.m. Anyways, so that's when. Oh, my Lord.
It's so funny that, well, not funny, but I mean, so you have everything and you're like, wait, was it that it wasn't fulfilling to you or that it was, were you disassociated with it or was it?
No, have you had a breakdown? Have you have a breakdown?
Yes, I had a breakdown in 2010. So that's why. So I had this nervous breakdown and I woke up. I had just done my one-woman show and it was really about my whole life and how all I ever wanted to be was on a sitcom. And the show's about, the Judy show, My Life is a Sitcom, is how I dreamed like I wanted to be growing up with the Partridge Family and the Brady Bunch and all them and go live with Mary Tyler Moore. And then when I got older, I thought, I'm definitely going to be on a sitcom. And it sort of goes through my whole career of me pitching a sitcom. And everyone like, no, they don't want to see a gay family, gay, no. Anyway, I do this show and it did really well. And I wake up the day after we're done. I was in Washington, D.C., and I couldn't talk. I could not talk. I said to Elisa, there's something wrong. And I had a complete and utter, but she's a therapist, thank God, and kept me out of the hospital. But I'm dying to know when you go in the hospital, what is it like?
Well, it is terrible in terms of, if you've ever been into a hospital for healthcare, I got to say, I've been in some cancer wards, and for babies, etc. Very pleasant, very positive, a lot of floral printed scrubs. In psych ward, it's always a little dingy. I went to turned out it was a psych ward that was not covered by insurance. Whoops.
Oh, good.
I thought it was fancy as to the gaslighting advertising they had on their website at Las Encinas Hospital, Pasadena, California. They do not have a pool, nor are they doing regular yoga classes, nor are they having all the groups all day. No.
You fucking liars.
There are tater tots. There are a lot of tater tots. There's a big screen TV playing Ultimate Fighting Championships, and there are several broken puzzles. Now, the hilarious part was getting in there and finding out, they didn't take my insurance. So they asked for cash up front.
No, they didn't.
Yes, which is a sign of mania, spending irrational amounts of money on something you may not.
Wait, did you go to an ATM or have to write a check?
No, I wrote a check. I brought my checkbook. So I think I wrote a check for about, I think it was $3,000 for the 72-hour stay.
Wow.
And then the psychiatrist there didn't take insurance either. So before I saw him, and his name was Dr. Pills, he said, please write me, you have to write a check for $450, which I had to get from the nurses' stations. I did get my purse, which is through bulletproof glass.
But you were just like, I have to do this. I have to do this, right?
Well, and I felt like, okay, I was kind of handling it, and thought, I'm going to feel better. And he, during the session, and this is one of my jokes, is that he actually Googled me during the session.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
And and then knowing that I was a comedian, he put me on a mood stabilizer whose primary side effects are cognitive, making it difficult to think or talk. And then I went to Chicago for what was going to be 4 shows.
Yeah. And they found you on the street.
I could not. Well, I didn't. I just kind of lost. Yeah, I lost all my stuff while I was walking the streets. I was trying to go through my act, rehearse my act, and I couldn't get any words out. And so finally I came back to the hotel, and I just called my mother, and she said, honey, just go to the airport, go to Delta, tell them you are your priority and you are gold medallion. And so it came to pass, and I was upgraded. But just had to cancel the shows and paid them for the cancellation and for the week of shows that I had canceled. I believe it was Austin. I had to needed to pay that club because they were cancellation at the last minute. So,
did you ever go back to those clubs?
I think the one in Chicago either changed hands, but I did not go back. And then the one in Cap City, I believe, is still around. Yeah, they were very. My manager Bruce was so nice about it. He's like, "Oh yes, I have another client who's bipolar, so just call me when you're out." Lovely.
Yeah, and the club owners are really nice. So, was that the first time you checked yourself in?
Yes. I'd been to psych wards before to visit friends and family, but not myself.
And did you go by yourself?
My friend Amy dropped me off. And,
I love Amy. What's Amy? Is Amy Jewish?
No, she is not.
Shit. This is the longest
from Huntington Beach.
This is the longest I have gone without ringing my Jew bell. I just want you to know, I have a Jew bell, and was Bruce Jewish?
Jewish by, I believe, by ethnicity, culture. My
Bruce.
mother, an honorary member of Hadassah.
No, I love your mother.
Yes.
I love her.
The director of my last special, Jewish, Rob Cohen.
Oh my God, I can't.
I went to Jewish nursery school.
No, you didn't.
Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
You did not.
Yes.
I love that. So you grew up around Jews?
Yes. The few that there were in Duluth,
so excited.
I did my best.
Did you ever go to a bar bat mitzvah?
Oh, yes. That was the first time I got drunk.
Oh, that's so great.
There was an open bar and they kept feeding me screwdrivers. And then I was poured into the back of my parents' station wagon.
And they were like, what do these Jews do? What the hell is this?
Chaim is what I kept screaming out the back window.
Elisa kept me out of the fucking psych ward, and I am dying to know. So you walk in, are they gentle and nice, or is it like, move, let's go?
No, there's nothing going on. Nothing going on. There's TV on. People are smoking around an orange cigarette bucket. There's absolutely nothing going on. They may have. Then I went to a second one at Glendale Adventist Medical Center, and which is run by the Seventh-day Adventists. Adventists, shout out for vegetarians, and that one was slightly more organized. Like they would have groups all day, but the groups were, nobody's functioning.
So are you sitting like those, like on your show, like you're sitting around a table, and is that sort of?
Well, and that was the thing that I actually had a problem with on my own show. I said, nothing is happening. Like, I actually don't want the show to portray this as if people are chit-chatting, making vision boards. Like, nothing. Like, I was crouched in a corner because there was so much energy in my legs. You know what I'm talking about. And like, so, yeah, I think that can be misleading. That at least all the places I've been have been, they're just a holding tank that you won't kill yourself.
Right.
Or kill other people, presumably. I was in the psych ward with another comic.
No!
This is the third time I went in, which is like, she wrote a memoir about it. So I don't want now, of course, I'm losing her name in my memory, but, so funny. And she was manic at the time. So having a great time. And,
were the two of you, were you like, hey, oh my God, what are you doing here?
No, I was head down again, crouched in a corner.
Really?
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah, no, I was not functioning.
You couldn't, and nothing. Yeah, I remember that. I remember sitting in my apartment and I remember thinking and I had two kids, I couldn't make their lunch. I was like, I can't make your lunch. And I remember thinking, if someone told me right now to go to the corner and get a carton of milk, I was terrified.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the worst. It's so chemical. Like it's so fucking, and do you constantly think, oh my God, I don't want this to happen again? Like I have a lot of the worrying about recurrence.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a hard one because I think about it. I go, gosh, because my sort of depression, which was kind of like for me, felt like unbearable razor's edge, darkness visible, etc. It's all been described in literature much better than I can. And night falls fast. It was so bad that I don't ever want to make promises to myself that, because I don't know. I feel like there should be a lot more empathy for people who commit suicide, that you just have no idea how long somebody's been going through something and, hang in there. Like, no.
No, you don't understand like the depth. Like I remember thinking, I know why people commit. I got to the point.
Yeah.
Like I was like, oh, this is why people kill themselves, because they feel like this.
Yeah. That it's and if that goes on for years at a time, and I'm in no way encouraging anybody to commit suicide, but I just think
you just understand.
Yeah, you just go,
it's painful, and it's not about you. Like people think
it's not about you at all. Yeah.
Right. Do you think there's been more suicides lately, or that we're just talking about them more? Because every time I get on Twitter, it's like 26-year-old, 29-year-old, 32-year-old, 34, and it's weird. And I don't know if it's because we're talking about it more or because
I don't know. That's a great question, because I think the news cycle and social media is so immediate and fast and repetitive that it's like things that you'd never hear about or you'd hear about in spurts before and then take it in emotionally are suddenly just constant, that they're and mixed together. Everything's mixed together.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Serena Williams she has migraines. Someone's killed themselves.
Right.
Oh my God. Like Donald Trump. No, there's just so much information out there. But yeah, my husband and I are both on the bipolar.
I love all right. First of all, were people, your friends in the business, did you lose any friends or did you get any weirdness from any of them? Because I love that.
Not that I know of. That I know of. And if I did lose a job, if I do lose jobs because, I've got a tremor or I'm older, I'm 50.
I'm 57.
Yeah. What are we going to do?
Right. There's nothing you can do about it. Right.
Yeah. And I do believe, or I would like to believe in that, my greatest weakness is my greatest strength. Somebody's going to need a shaky 50-year-old.
Right.
And guess what? I'm going to be top of that list.
That's right. Someone's going to need a gigantic 57-year-old Jewish lesbian, and I'm on the top of that list.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, exactly.
The article you wrote in the New York Times was, first of all, was so beautifully written. Aww. And the fact that what really got me was when you said you found real hope in the psych ward. You found the real hope in the psych ward that you could get married because all the people in the psych ward had people visiting them who were their partners. And so and the fact that you just broke it down and said, oh, they are loved. That is so basic. It's just the most beautiful thing. That article was the most beautifully written. And that you knew just by seeing these people dedicated to their partners that you had something else to look forward to. Would you? Or
that there's a possibility out there. Because I remember actually right before I went into the hospital, the guy I was dating broke up with me, and one of the things he had was a belief that his mom had gotten to a hospital because she had been suicidal later in life in her 60s. And he had said, I was so angry at her. And I was just like, what?
Yeah. Take care. Have a nice night.
But he broke up with me. But the point is I was just like, oh no, here's, because he seemed kind of like the perfect person, the perfect person. And they're like, he was Jewish and he was a writer. Oh God.
Fuck him.
Perfect. But not into me. Fair enough. But then to go into the hospital and just meet all these people and also in the outpatient program who, had families, kids, who came to visit them
and love them unconditionally.
And love them. I'm just like, oh, what am I waiting for? There's got to be somebody out there.
Yeah.
And turns out there was, less than 2 miles from my home, Scott Marvel Cassidy, who he went to go visit his mom when she had bipolar in the hospital, and she had grown a little beard. And
oh my God, this story I love it. Go ahead. And they can't have sharp objects.
Yeah, I can't. Oh yeah, you can't have sharp objects. So he said, if you ever go in the hospital, I'll come in and shave your beard.
Oh my God, that is the most romantic. I wrote that down. Most romantic thing ever. I'll come and shave your beard. That is the most romantic thing, because I'm constantly telling my kids, listen, when I'm laying in my own shit and urine at the Hebrew Home for the Aged, you have to fucking, I'm not kidding.
No.
It's very important. No, people don't realize how important it is.
No, it is flipping powder. That's what everybody wants near the end.
That's right.
I'm trying to do it for my mom. She won't let me powder her as much as I want. I like to powder.
I did with my mother. I used to go in and I used to say, she would have and I'm like, Ma, you're like the rabbi. What's the sermon this weekend? I used to, every time she had too much hair, I was like, so what's the Torah portion this weekend?
What are you, the cantor? Yeah.
I read that Jonathan Winters helped you as well.
Yes. I had a dear friend who was very close friends with him, and I was very, very afraid of going back to performing just felt, I mean, just like when you lost your brain or your mind, it feels like everybody knows or somehow like you've changed in some way. And so, my friend got him on the phone and said what the situation was. And all he said, which was just really nice. He goes, well, you got a shrink? And I said, yes, I do have a psychiatrist. And he says, well, then you just keep going. And which is so true. And
it is true.
No other choice. But
it's so interesting because his characters were so specific too. You know, like yours are so fucking specific, which is what makes them so real and great. Oh, they're so fucking great.
Thanks.
Shut up.
Thanks. Thank you so much. Well, my husband and I now, because we've learned more, we've been together 6 years and we both realized that at the age of 10, we started to, both of us, he's from Philadelphia, me from Duluth, he started to kind of like comfort ourselves with longing for death, suicidal ideation. It's a clock eater. And so that's something I think we still both do it.
Right.
We had a bad day. And I was like, hey, what were you thinking about earlier? And he said, what were you thinking about earlier?
Right.
No, nothing good. So that's why we have signed contracts that we have signed by our couples therapist, Carol Grisham, that we will not commit suicide.
Oh, that's good. You can't commit suicide.
It's in a chip clip, magnetic chip clip on our refrigerator.
I love it.
Come over.
Oh, I want to come over. Okay. All right. You did this thing called flooding. I find that fascinating.
Oh, yes. Do you have any phobias or fears?
I don't. I did go to cognitive behavioral therapy.
Okay.
Because I have intrusive thoughts and all this shit. So, but that I thought the flooding was so fucking fascinating, and that it totally worked.
Yeah, like immediately. It was.
So you take a fear, right?
You take your fear. Now, okay, so let's say it's. I'm trying to think of an example. Let's say you think. When you're eating baby carrots, you're giving fellatio to the baby Jesus, and that's somehow abhorrent to you. Okay.
Love it. Yeah.
So maybe the first thing you do is just walk near the carrots in your grocery store and bookend that with your therapist. Next thing you do is you'd go to your local church, stare at it with carrots in your pocket, and then look at the picture of the Christ.
Yes.
And then the next thing you do, with the permission of your priest, go up on the altar and eat baby carrots in front of Jesus. So for at least 15 minutes until your anxiety peaks and then falls back down. Anyways, it's so great. OCD therapists do it.
You said that it was done. It was done.
It was done. And part of it was that like just immediate relief of like, oh, this is a thing.
This is just a fucking thought. Like that's what I learned in cognitive behavioral therapy was like, oh, that's not a real thought. That's something I'm making up because I feel blank. You know, like you have to identify everything. But I definitely had OCD as a kid. I remember I used to, when I went to bed, I'd close the door, open the door, close the door, and then open it halfway. I had all these fucking routines that I had to do. Otherwise, I was going to have a shitty day. It was like fucking, you know.
No. Yeah.
Thank God
it's
for
fine
therapy.
it's fine if it's manageable. Like some people go, oh, I'm OCD. I need to have. It's like, oh, well, that can sometimes create beauty. But if it's keeping you from having relationships, like I had difficulty making eye contact with people because I was afraid they could see that I was going to chop them up into chunks and bits.
Right.
Have sex with the chunks and bits, put the chunks and bits on a Cobb salad, toss it in, and feed it to the baby Jesus. Anyways, those are my fears. You may have different ones.
Right.
I hope it involves
mine
something.
Are different. Mine are more Jewish.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're more like, you know, I'm going to fall or get in a car, like I'm driving and someone's going to come 8,000 miles in front and back of me and, you know, like all those kind of, you know, someone's going to drive on the wrong side of the road and bash it. Yeah. They're more Jewy.
The type of OCD I had was harm OCD, which is a fear of harming others.
Right.
So there's just so many types. There's scrupulosity, where you fear you're going to do something that's immoral. There's pedo OCD, where you're feared you're a pedophile or a sex offender, and you aren't.
But you don't act on any of these, right?
Yeah,
it's just a fear. Yeah, it's irrational.
But there's so much help for people out there. If you've ever had those really traumatizing experiences, go for help. OCD Foundation online. They have so many resources. Awesome.
Your bit, I guess it's a bit, about you're talking about suicide and veterans who kill themselves.
Oh, yeah.
Is so fucking brilliant and funny that it's like, I love the way your mind works. I know. I hate that you hate it, but it's you don't know how fucking great the art is that comes out of that fucking mouth.
Oh, right? Thanks, man. Oh, that's like, because I really, I mean, obviously I'm not in the military, but it just seems like people are being failed all over the country, if not the world, with mental health and health services.
Right.
Matter, but for people who have agreed to risk their lives for the country,
I know,
and that they're not given treatment and support seems the ultimate in bizarre. And then are dying, So
by suicide. And
by suicide, yes,
because that motherfucker.
Well, and that it's taboo in some ranks of the military to talk about having any mental health problems. Same as the police force, and it's like, oh my god, these are the people that need fucking need not only college degrees, but to have as much support as possible,
right?
Or perhaps at least be wearing a wedge heel and a long sweater vest, so that they're slowed down a bit, hobbled in their action.
It's true. Have you done 9 specials? 9?
Oh, I don't think. I think it's more around 5.
What are you talking about? It says everywhere. It's here on NPR. It said 8. Fuck them.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not clear.
Okay, don't worry about it.
I'm working on my new hour now, and that's all that matters.
And I
have you heard my new hour? That's my best shit.
Do you think your parents? Do you think they get you? I think they really get you. Do you?
No, I mean, no. I'll do my stuff for my dad, and he'll be like, "Yeah, I'm not following you, but I appreciate what you're."
But they accept it. It's I love the way when you're special with that, just them in the audience. They're just like, okay,
yeah,
all right, that is funny. I don't know why I'm laughing, but
they are also paid $600 a piece, and that's American dollars. And it was non-union work, non-union. They did not get a share of the profits, and that's on them.
Right.
They could have done some negotiating.
Has anyone in the business said to you, Maria, what do you can't do that. No one's going to watch that. Have you?
Usually don't hang around long enough for anybody to say anything to me. I mean, I think that's what shyness is, a gift, where you just go, oh yeah, no, I don't need to hear what anybody has to. Like when they talk about that at the cellar, the table where all the comics sit, I'm like, oh yeah, I'd avoid that like the plague. Right. I don't want to hear anybody's feedback or ideas or
that's so great. And I think that keeps your stuff so pure and honest.
Well, it's also insular and perhaps
do you know how successful you are? Do you know?
I do feel very successful. I feel like I've made it 1,000 times over. All I want to do was be on TV once. I've been on TV, and now TV's not even TV. It's a whole different thing, and I'm on that. So, wow.
Do you pinch yourself, or are you like, it is what it is? Like some people would say, that's enough. This is makes me happy.
Yeah, but then you got to keep going.
Right.
I mean, you don't have to keep going, but if I'm on meds, I'm probably going to keep going because it does, as much as I complain about my sloth. I love the results of activity.
Right.
So I keep making stuff, even if no one were interested. I do think I would find pleasure in my own jokes. I just made it. Oh my God. I just laughed to myself so hard the other day.
What? Tell me.
I'd like everyone to bring me up the stage as a seizure, as a seizure survivor, and with an announcement. If that's something. I think that'll bring the room to the right level of energy.
Oh, that's so funny. I love it. I think I would have been friends with you in high school. Your great-grandmother lived her whole life in the attic? Is that true?
Not her whole life. She had 6 kids. She popped out 6 kids.
Right.
Then I think she called it. And then for whatever reason, it's very unclear why she didn't leave the attic, but she spent most of her life up there while the nanny took care of the kids. My grandfather then married the nanny.
No.
Probably a good choice.
Was your great-grandmother's name Anne Frank?
Oh, Anne Frank!
Good night, folks.
Good night.
So wait, was she up in the attic while he married the other one?
Yes. I believe that's what happened. I don't think she had died yet. I think she had perhaps died to the world. But I think she was still alive.
Wow.
I want to get the bell again. Isaac Bashevis Singer. Okay. Let me, oh God, what is my favorite? Chaim Polchak.
Chaim Polchak.
God damn. What a great novelist.
Chaim. What is
Herzl?
I just love
Herzl?
Herzl's a good one. Okay. I could talk to you forever. The regrettable incident of the television placement is my favorite thing in the whole world. So you had a huge fight. You started screaming.
Oh my God.
Did you just lose it? Your husband brought in a TV.
Yes. Yeah. And it was all going perfectly well. I have to say, just add some information. It was 110 degrees. We had no power yet in our house, no air conditioning. So we discussed where to put the television for about an hour. He left, movers come. They say, where do you want it? I say, on the fireplace. And that is not where we had agreed. He gets home, says, where is it? I say, oh no. And that's when he says something I think is probably poor choice on his part was, can I not trust you to get anything done by yourself? Oh boy. And but that is the kind of thing that people say who love each other.
Right.
As you go, you break it down to, are you a good person?
Right. Right.
And so then things, they did not go well from there. But we found out that it's also, this is, I believe, a Jewish couple, the Gottman therapy technique. Gottmans.
Yes.
They teach you it's part of the physical body. When you get into conflict with someone, your blood pressure rises, that you have to take 20 minutes of break. Otherwise, you will say or do things that you regret.
Right.
If you don't change the subject, splash water in your face, do anything to distract yourself from the current conflict. And so then I wrote that it's called saturation point when your body gets to that point. So my husband and I wrote a song about it, and which I can't remember the lyrics to now. You'll have to buy it on.
But it's called The Unfortunate Incident.
Unfortunate Incident. The television placement.
The regrettable incident of the television.
Regrettable.
I love it.
Yes,
I fucking love it. I'm so happy that you have such a great husband. And I'm so sorry about your mother, because I watched my mother deteriorate, and it's just it's so awful.
Yep.
Because you still know like to me, like to my kids, she was like an old lady, you know what I mean? Like, oh, grandma. But I'm like, no, that she's not that. She's
no. She's super fun. Yeah, well, my mom is still having, her mom just had a very sexy dream about her old high school boyfriend and Jew, Roger Getz.
I fucking love your mother. Your mother loves the Jews. And she married a doctor, you know? So there you go. So you're working on your new hour. I am so upset that Lady Dynamite isn't on.
Oh, yes. It's okay, because I did not realize part of dreams coming true is that you find out what the dream actually is. Turns out it's 16 to 18 hours a day on a set with only 10 hours of sleep in between.
Right.
Maybe enough for other people, not on antipsychotics. And it's exhausting. So I'm amazed. I bought a house in cash. We bought a house in cash.
Right.
And it's all gravy.
Husband.
And I love my husband. I love him so much. He's going to start driving across the country with our dogs because we're relocating here for the next several months just to be here with my mama.
Oh, I love that. You get that time with her. Okay. So I love you. I think you're the greatest. I always ask all of my guests. Now, usually I ask them about mental health. I always bring up mental health, but we don't have to because that's, that's.
Yes. Oh, God.
Wow.
Covered.
So the name of the podcast is Kill Me Now because I get annoyed like that, like at everything. Like I'm like, oh my God. So I want to know what makes you so fucking pissed off. Like what pisses you the fuck off, makes you crazy. Like it could be the smallest thing, but what fucking makes you crazy?
Well, number one, death.
Yeah.
I really hate it. And then, I hate suffering, poverty. I mean, the usuals.
Right.
But I think I think I can genuinely hate that. I think that thing where people feel the need to share with the person how much they don't like them. Like, and that can be internet or it can be face to face. We've all done it. We've all experienced it from the other side of somebody basically saying to you. But yeah, I just don't. I wonder about that. If there could be more self-editing, although maybe that's an art form as well.
Right,
being a face-to-face critique.
Can I hate Donald Trump?
Oh my God.
Okay.
Yes.
So as long as there's some people who are excluded from that.
Yeah. And I hate racism, sexism.
Oh God. I can't.
Things. And I hate it within myself too. Cause I know I've said some super,
oh my God, we all have, and not realized how fucking insensitive it is. And so you mentioned, that you get hate mail or you've gotten hate mail.
Oh, just the occasional. I mean, it's not death threats all the time because I'm not putting myself out there with, I'm obviously left leaning and politically.
Right.
And I've tried to make clear to all my fans, hey, if you're a fan of the goofball, please follow. I really feel like it's a genocide type situation here, but sometimes people don't read your tweets.
Right.
They keep following you.
Yeah. I hear you. You are, I just love you. I think you're so fucking talented and such a unique voice of our generation of comics. And I wish you only I would love to work with, if you ever do anything, I'll be the fucking woman who was sitting in the back of the van and just not even saying anything. I just think you're so fucking talented.
Listen, you are the top. Well, first of all, like Margaret Cho's special, I'm the one that I want.
Yeah.
We're the one that we want. And that's the great thing about comedy is you can cast yourself.
Right.
So you are at the top of my list.
Yes. Because you are in the cool group. You do realize, oh my God, you're so in the cool hip group.
But I think that changes every few seconds.
Oh, please, Maria. Don't you realize you're one of the cool, if we were in high school, I'll be like, oh, there's Maria. She's really fucking cool. You would be one of the cool people. Yes.
I don't know. Well, I appreciate, I'm going to take that. I'm going to take that.
Yeah, take it. Take it. You're popular on mine.
Thank you.
Okay. So where can everyone find you?
Oh, I'm going to have a show called Help me, help you, help me. September 26th. It is a Saturday on rushtix.com, where I, as a relatively useless 50-year-old white woman, am going to give advice. It's questionable because there's no healthcare out there. Why don't I take a shot at your problems?
Right. That's great.
And I'll do some stand-up as well.
Oh, I can't. I'm going to watch.
And hopefully get to meet some animals, rabbits, lizards, all are welcome.
That's great.
Then also I have an Audible original.
I know! The 15. Yes, go ahead. Sorry, I know I'm so annoying.
It's called You Are a Comedy Special, which is how to write how you're going to make in 15 simple steps, your own full hour stand-up comedy special.
Yes, an Audible original.
Nobody wants to do it, but sometimes you got to do it.
Yeah, you got to do it. I do it. And what's your Twitter and everything?
Maria Bamfoo, and then Instagram Maria Bamford Comedy. I have a lot of videos up there. I'm also on YouTube.
I know, I watch them.
Bamford, and lots of the classic web series.
Right.
Netflix got a couple of specials.
If you have never watched Lady Dynamite, please watch Lady Dynamite. Watch all of your specials. They're so fucking great. I noticed the wine behind you.
Oh, that's my father's. Yes.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, I know. I hope. I mean, maybe he'd let me have a bottle, but
what's his password?
Well, God, I thought it was No Thacker, who was a former neighbor of ours. Right. Then I tried their old address, 2418. I am. I'm stumped.
Wow.
Stumped.
All right. Well, I hope you figure it out.
Yeah, and if not, maybe I could get $20 off him.
Yeah, and a bottle of wine. Maria, thank you so much. You are a gem. This was like the greatest I've been dying to have you. I can't thank you enough.
Thank you so much. I feel so delighted. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're the best.
Thank you so much for listening to part 2 of Kill Me Now with Maria Bamford. I also want to say to Maria, I just send my deepest condolences to her on the loss of her mom, Marilyn. It was such a pleasure having her on the podcast. And if you like the show, make sure to subscribe and leave a review. It helps more people find this incredibly amazing podcast. 5 stars only, please. My kids criticize me all the time. I just need 5 stars. Thank you. Also, if you've not purchased my book, yes, I can say that. When They Come for the Comedians, We're All in Trouble. There's really something wrong with you. There really is. It's a great book. I'm going to read this is a very new rating on Amazon. This woman, I don't even know who it is. I don't even know if it's a woman, but anyway, you learn something new every day. I chose a 5-star rating because the book was without flaw, ... to me. Judy kept the book on point and interesting throughout its entirety. I'm really glad I purchased this book because I learned certain things about comedians that I had no knowledge of. So there you go. It really is. It's great. And the audiobook was featured in New and Noteworthy in the New York Times Book Review. People love the audiobook because I actually act out a lot of the comedians, even though I think I suck. But anyway, I really am proud of it, and I would love for you to get it. And if you get the audiobook, lower the volume. So there you go. It means so much to me if you check it out. All order links are on the homepage of my new website, judygold.com. Yes, I redid the website. Woo! Or wherever books are sold. So make sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram for all upcoming virtual and live events and my thoughts and my nasty comments. Everything is at Judy Gold, at JEWDYGOLD, like Jew Gold. Thank you so much for listening. Please be safe. Please wear a mask. Please vote. And as we always say, so long!
And everything was wonderful. I'll see you soon. Thank you for the visit. So long.